Okay, so here's the project of trying to see if the timing is right. And of course, if it's off, it's just gonna probably be a very subtle tooth or two, or more likely just one. So I think that's what it is lined up these top marks. Housing, belt, cam, exhaust, gear, lined up. Now down here, we ran into the covers, which were like, holy shit. I cleaned it up, and there's absolutely no mark on this cover. Zero. Won't focus on that, but that's just not a mark. That one right in the center, that's just not a mark. Maybe a ding. And of course, who would want to even think about putting one on the inside? So there's nothing there. So this is so crazy because, like I was telling you, if I look up 2003 Passat timing belt tension adjuster, idler, whatever it's called, it just won't. These phones suck. Anyway, that's mine, and there's nothing on there that tells me how to undo that. You know, there's no little tool kit with a rod because there's no hole for it. You can see that's a solid lever, and there's no hole in it for a threaded rod and a nut and two washers, and you compress the piston and, you know, all this stuff. It's just different, and there's nothing on there that I'm seeing, you know, that shows whatever the hell how that operates. I'm assuming it's got something to do with that nut, but then why would it have the same lever without the hole and without the thread, you know, down underneath for it to go into, to compress, to twist? See, mine is just like from planet Venus or something, and that's what's really frustrating me. You know, I could have done certain things, but anyway, down inside, you know, to try to find a cam mark, or not a cam mark, timing. I'm just a little too frustrated right now to talk. But if you can see, I don't know if you can, trying to get this lined up. It's almost right there. See that, like, spear mark? I don't want to even call it a mark. It looks more like a structural reinforcement, you know, limb support. And then over there, I thought I saw like an arrow. I'm sorry, I'm not getting this. I'm trying to. Oh, and that dog's driving me nuts with his squeaking. That's what I got to go through, Thomas. All day long, squeaks. So anyway, I've been trying to get down in there to sand it a little bit with my finger, but I just don't believe that's you know, the timing mark, because in reference to the one that I have barely painted now because I wire brushed everything, it's you know, right there on the edge of the bright light. That's the timing mark on the pulley. It's like way off. Like, say that pulley is, again, I'll call it 11:30. That under there is 11 o'clock. And on this little lower case, this metal trim piece that stayed, even when I took off that cover, there is this tiny little indentation on that round nub. And that light's almost just too bright to even allow you to see it. Maybe I don't need it. But that's what I was showing you with the screwdriver earlier. That brown nub is what I would call, in my opinion, it's located at 11. Oh my God. 1145. It's not quite straight up and down like 12 o'clock, but it is, in my opinion, one solid tooth away. But I'd have to go and move that mark there from what I call 1130 and move that mark over to that little indentation to call it 1145, because there is no true 12 here. There's no 12 on that back part, you know, the crank gear pulley housing. I wish they would make these things a little bit more friggin' obvious. It's just ridiculous. Of course, if there wasn't somebody that would install a belt wrong, but I think, if anything, if they installed this belt, they used that beam, that support form fitting thing that I was talking about earlier. Because that's just about lined up, but it just doesn't make any sense that would be the timing mark. So there is no obvious timing mark. That's kind of my point. And if it's on this little piece of tin, and it's that little tiny indentation on that round punched, I don't even know what to call it, frickin' peninsula, island. Like, if you see the state of Florida and you put an indentation at about 1/3 of the way north. It's getting difficult to describe it, but, you know, I just can't believe that would be the timing reference. So at any rate, now I'm kind of at a standstill. Oh well.